to get this started, we're now joined by Rajesh Agarwal, who's the head of research at AUM Capital, and Lakshmikant Shukla, who's the technical analyst, institutional research at Yes Securities. Very good morning. Thank you so much for joining us today, gentlemen. Rajesh, now coming to you first, before we start with all the queries, what are you making of the markets at this point? Very, very flat move is what we are seeing right now. So what is your expectation going forward?
Good morning, Ankita. Good morning, Kanishka. Good morning, Lakshmikant. Markets are not doing anything, I would say. It's moving into a range of 100 points there and there. And it's trading in a negative territory for the last 3 consecutive weeks. And this week also, I don't think anything dramatic would happen. And that's because of the tepid start of Q1 numbers, which we have witnessed starting from TCS. And still, numbers are not that exciting for the first quarter. Not to forget the kind of relentless selling that FIs have been doing. And from June 20 onwards, if you see, FIs have increased their short positions in the index futures. And that's something which is concerning. But if we look at macro picture is very good. Interest rates have gone down. Commentary is good. Monsoon has come before time and it's above average. And these things are going to help in a longer term. So at this point of time, and even in this week, we have 12 companies coming out with numbers that are part of Nifty. So that means that there would be a lot of volatility based on the numbers. So if you forget about the short-term pictures, if you have a medium to long-term horizon, I think these are good times to accumulate good stocks which have got good fundamentals and going forward can give good returns.
All right. So that's the take on the market. Really, markets are not doing anything like Rajesh pointed out. And in fact, this continuous FII selling has been a point of concern. And of course, as far as the tariffs are also concerned, there's nothing substantial that has come out as of now. We are still on a wait and watch mode as of now. But let's then get started with all the questions, stock specific queries, because really it is the individual stock are really giving the moves. So let's start talking about them. The number, like I said, is flashing on top of your screen. Keep sending in your questions and we'll start with all the questions that have started coming in. Let me come to the first question that is coming from Girish Iyer from Trivandrum. He's writing that he's holding 1,000 shares of Avanti Feeds at a buying price of 857. He says that is there any scope for an upward move in the short term or should he be exiting? Lakshmikant, this one's for you because this is on the short term. Also, he wants to know about BEML. He's holding 300 shares at a buying price of 4,724. He wants to know if he should be holding it or exiting at this current juncture.
Hi, good morning to you all. So now talking about Avanti Feed, so this stock has seen some sort of recovery after taking support from its 200 DMA, which is placed around the zone of 720, and from there it started making gradual upside move. So I think he could see some sort of upside move toward the levels of 810 to 835. With the strong support which is seen around the zone of 720. So I think he could see some meaningful recovery toward the levels of 810 to 835. Now talking about BML, so BML has seen a declining move after making top near the levels of 4,700, and then after that it has started making lower tops and lower bottom. Now it is approaching toward the levels of its 50-day moving averages, which is placed around the zone of 44,290. So I think that would be the upcoming support levels. If it reaches this level, then further downward pressure could be possible in the stock toward its lower level around the zone of 4,000. So I think he should exit from the BML and continue to hold that Avanti Feed.
All right. So those are the calls coming for BML and Avanti Feeds. But moving on, Rajesh, we have a query for you. This is Raju writing from Bangalore. He wants to know your view on PB Fintech. Should he enter at the current levels? He intends to hold the stock for about 2 to 3 years.
2-3 years is a decent time to hold stocks, but I don't think PB Fintech would be of that kind of stock which you can hold for that period of time. If you want to play insurance sector as such, why not go to a direct insurance play like LIC, which is trading at a huge discount to what its value should be? considering the fact that it has almost 65% of market share, or HDFC Life, which is doing very well, and numbers have been that great. As far as PV fintech is concerned, the numbers are still under pressure. The margins are not that great. Maybe in the 3 years down the line, there might be some miracles happening, but I don't think at this point of time one should take exposure for a long-term horizon. Maybe short-term trading opportunities there and there might come because of results coming out. For long term, I would say avoid.
All right, moving on then to the next question coming in from Parameshwari, who's writing in from Chennai. Parameshwari says she's bought 500 shares of BDL, Bharat Dynamics, at a buying price of 1,915. Should she hold it or sell it? I'll come to you, Lakshmikant, on this one. She's clearly sitting at a loss, and in the last 1 month, BDL has seen a cut of almost 10 odd percent because it has moved up so much. In the last 6 odd months, it's moved up 41 odd percent. Is there more upside? What should she do at this current juncture, because she is sitting at a loss right now?
After a few days of decline, this stock has found piercing line of candlestick pattern yesterday's session, but still it is trading below its bearish crossover of 20 and 50 DMA, which is showing bearish sentiment for this stock. So I think if it get some upside move toward the levels of 1800 to 1820, so that would be the levels from where he could exit this stock, because I'm not seeing any much upside move from the current levels, although some sort of pullback move could be expected toward the levels of 1800 to 1820, but I think that would be from where we could find a stiff resistance. So I think any pullback move toward the levels of 1800 to 1020 could be utilized for exiting in the stock.
All right, so you could consider exiting Bharat Dynamics. That's the view coming from Lakshmikant. But Lakshmikant, another query for you. This is Mandar writing from Mumbai. He has Hindustan Zinc shares. He has 100 shares at a price of 438 rupees. He wants to know the short-term view. How long should he consider holding?
The Hindustan Zinc has seen consolidation breakout above its key moving averages. So we could see some sort of pullback move toward the levels of 460 to 465 zone, where it's 200 DMA is placed. So I think he should hold for this upcoming target of the of the levels of 460 to 465, whereas downside is looking capped from with the strong support which we look around the zone of 430. So as long as it holds the levels of 430, we could see upside move toward the levels of 460 to 465. So that would be the expected target on the short term basis, which we are expecting for the Hindustan Zinc.
All right, moving on from Hindustan Zinc to the next question. This question is coming in from Saudi Arabia, actually. This is Prakash who's writing, and he says that is this the right time to buy ICICI Bank for the long term? What is the correct buying price? So Lakshmikant, I'll come to you for getting into this counter. And what do you see for ICICI Bank? Banks, financials have been a common consensus. There's a valuation comfort. The balance sheets are strong. Talk to us about ICICI Bank. What are the good levels to enter?
In today's sessions, it has made all-time high of 1,480, but at the same time, it has also witnessing some sort of profit booking. So I think buy on dips will be the good strategy for accumulating the stock. So I think if it if it retraces toward the levels of 4,440 to 430, so that would be the good levels for taking entry in the ICICI Bank. And then after, if we see any kind of rebound, then we could expect upside move in ICICI banks in the uncharted territory toward the levels of 1600 to 1640.
All right, so those are the levels you could look at for ICICI Bank, a buy on dips call coming from Lakshmikant. But Rajesh, now coming to you, we have a viewer, Nikhat, who's writing from Bangalore. She's been holding 30 shares of L&T at a price of 2,423 rupees. She wants to know whether she should continue to hold for another year or what would be the target for the long term.
For long-term investors, I would say add. This is a strong company with almost more than 5 lakh crores of order book, and having execution capacities more, and a large part of the order is coming from UAE. So that makes a very good diversification, not only domestic market, but international market also. The hydrogen division doing well, software is doing well, almost every division is doing well. And I think the kind of order inflows coming into the company, and if we believe as Indian economy growing, so it's almost a proxy play to the Indian economy. So Larsen should be in one's portfolio, and these levels I would suggest a buy.
Right, a buy call coming in, a long-term bet, that is L&T. But let's move on to the next question. This is Balan who's writing in. Balan is saying that he wants to sell Coal India and GAIL and buy Ashok Leyland or any other counter from banking and financial space. Rajesh, let me come to you for this one. Good time to sell Coal India and GAIL and buy Ashok Leyland and perhaps a banking name. Is that what you would recommend?
On the contrary, I would say continue holding Coal India and GAIL both because they give good dividends. Coal India is the largest has the largest coal reserve across the world, and they're moving into renewable energy also. So one should continue to hold. Even GAIL is same story. Valuations are very attractive, giving good dividends. If you have extra money, you can move to some NBFC, as you have suggested. Maybe a Poonawalla or Jio would be a good bet. At this point of time, I would say wait for some correction in Ashok Leyland to enter new.
All right, so that's the view. A hold call coming for Coal India and GAIL. So next up, we have a query from Sunita from Bangalore. She wants to know what are the entry levels for Infosys and Sun Pharma. Lakshmikant, you want to take this?
So, if we talk about Infosys, so as we have seen certain profit booking in the Nifty IT stock, and due to which we have seen selling pressure in the Infosys also. But from last few sessions, it has been holding the immediate support of 1,560. But still, we see some sort of selling pressure until we get any decisive move above the levels of 1,650. So that would be the strong resistance for the Infosys. Once it crosses it, then I think then we recommend to buy in this stock, and then after it could move forward toward the levels of 1,750. Until we see any meaningful recovery to the levels of 1,650, we will remain tentative, and if reaches its immediate swing low of 1,560, then we could see further selling pressure in this stock.
All right, with that, it's time for a quick breather. Don't go anywhere. After the break, we'll come back and get all your questions answered on the other side. Stay tuned. We'll be back. Welcome back. You're tuned in to Buy Now Sell Now with me, Ankita Saxena, and with me is Kanishka Sarkar, and we're getting all your stock-related questions answered. The number is flashing on top of your screen. Keep sending in your stock-related questions, the buying price, the holding period, and your query, and we'll get them answered by our experts who have joined us, Lakshmikant and Rajesh. Let's resume with all the questions that you have been sending us then. This is coming from Narsimha Reddy, who's writing in from Hyderabad. He says, is Adani Green a good bet for the long term? He's bought 50 shares at a buying price of 984. Rajesh, Adani Green, now, Adani Green has become the largest and the fastest green energy build out in India's history, and they've been talking about capacity expansion. But for the long term, what is your opinion on Adani Green?
See, the future is renewable energy, no doubt on that. And Adani Green is the largest player, having good amount of capacity with a lot of expansion being planned. So at this point of time, the only concern that goes with is some amount of debt which is there in the balance sheet. But with the kind of capacity it has, these debts are going to be there. So for a long-term horizon, at this point of time, yes, it's a good buy. One can buy Adani Green at this point of time and continue for long term. But what I would suggest is keep revising your positions every quarter when the numbers comes and all, so that you can keep track of your investments. So it's not that you buy and forget about 5 years down the line.
Okay, so a buy call coming for Adani Green, but our numbers are something that you should be tracking. But moving on, Rajesh, another query for you. This viewer Venkataramani from Bangalore, he's been writing about HDFC Life. He has 200 shares of HDFC Life at a price of 597 rupees. He wants to know whether it is a good time to accumulate more. He wants to hold for the period of 15 months.
It's a good stock, no doubt on that. The numbers have been good. AP has gone up, VNB has gone up, margins have expanded with the kind of parentage it has. Uh, Selling the policies are quite easy job for them because of digital and the banking channel they have. But when I look at valuation, I think LIC is trading at a much attractive valuation when you compare with HDFC Life, and being the largest player with the kind of AUM it has and with new launches being planned. Even last quarter numbers were very strong, I would say. The bottom line jumped like anything. So why not go some part of your portfolio? You have HDFC Life and as some part of your portfolio in LIC. That way you have diversified and having exposure into insurance sector as such.
Right. Okay. So move on. Let's move on to the next question then. This one's coming from Sudha, who's writing in. She says that should she sell Vedanta, Coal India, and BHEL and buy Varun Beverages and Biocon for the next 3 years? Is that a sensible thing to do, Rajesh?
See, Varun Beverages, yes, it's a good buy. Second largest Pepsi bottler outside US, I would say. And not only India, but they have operations into Nepal, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, and all those neighboring countries. They are moving to non-carbonated drinks also. So yes, Varun Beverage is a good buy. But selling Coal India and other stocks, I don't think that would be a sensible strategy as such. If you have extra funds, invest in Varun Beverages, but continue to hold Coal India.
Okay, so that's the call coming from Lakshmikant. You can continue to hold Coal India. But moving on, we have another query on Canara Bank. Now, this viewer, Ignatius from Kolkata, has been holding 708 shares of Canara Bank at a price of 108 rupees. She's been holding them for the past 6 months, and she wants to know whether she should exit this one and add ICICI Bank and HDFC Bank. She currently holds 20 stocks of ICICI Bank and 100 stocks of HDFC Bank also currently. So what would your suggestion be, Lakshmikant? Should she exit Canara Bank and enter the other two?
I think he should continue to hold the Canara Bank because although we have seen some sort of profit booking after making top near the levels of 117, but I think overall structure is looking on the bullish side, and as long as it hold the levels of 100 to 99 zone, whereas bullish crossover is also seen between 100 and 200 DMA, so from where we could see some sort of rebound in this stock. But if you want to buy in ICICI Bank and HDFC Bank, so they are also looking good at current juncture, and we expect more upside momentum in both the HDFC and ICICI Bank also. So I would not suggest to exit the Canara Bank, but if you want to buy ICICI and HDFC Bank, so he can buy those stocks also.
ICICI Bank and HDFC Bank also, if Ignatius wants to buy that. But let's move on to the next question then. This is Ravi, who's writing in from Vijayawada. He's writing that he's bought 1,000 shares of UPL at a buying price of 715. He wants to know the short-term targets for the next 1 to 2 months. Lakshmikant, UPL, what would be your target for the next 1 to 2 months?
UPL has given a strong breakout above the levels of 700 with the formation of bullish candle, and even we have not seen any reversal kind of formation at top also. So we expect that this ongoing momentum will continue in UPL toward the levels of 755 to 760, whereas downward support is seen near the levels of 680 on the downside.
Okay, so those are the levels to track for UPL. Well, the next query is again on the banking side. Rajesh, this time for you. Now, this viewer, they haven't given their name, requesting viewers to please send in their names as well so that we can attribute your questions to you. Now, Rajesh, this viewer, he's been holding shares of HDFC Bank since the IPO. He wants to know whether he can continue to hold this for another 7 years.
Congratulations on the wealth that you have created. I think, Mana, it's really a remarkable job holding stocks for such a long period of time. And yes, this stock can be held for another 7 years or 10 years down the line because the quality of this bank is very good. largest eight banks across the world. After the merger, the size has grown up like anything. The numbers have been good. The only problem with this quarter numbers was the extra provisioning which they have done, but that would give returns in the long term. Otherwise, on the other parameters, the bank has been doing good. We believe that for FY26, the bottom line would be around 80,000 odd crores, and that's a huge number, I would say. Even after the kind of run up it has seen from almost 1400 odd levels to 2000 odd levels, the valuations are still attractive. So I would say buy for long term. And rather than buying in a lump sum, what you should do is go for a staggered way of buying or even do a SIP in this that would give better returns.
All right. Moving on to the next question then. This is Vaishnavi who's writing in from Chennai. She says she's holding, she's bought Mazgaon Docks at 2,219 rupees a year ago. What is the 6 months target, and should she be holding it, or should she sell at a given, at the current price that she's bought it at? So she's made her profit, Lakshmikant. For the next 6 months, what is your target on Mazgaon Docks? Because Mazgaon Docks has also seen a fair bit of consolidation in the last 1 month, given the fact that it has run up so much. She's already got her profits. Should she book out, or is there more upside in the next 6 months?
This stock has given breakdown from the levels of 13,100, and then after it has started making lower tops and lower bottom. Now it is trading near its 100 DMA levels with the formation of bearish candle formation. So we won't see any much upside move in the MESDOC. And even we think that if it reaches the levels of 2,900, then further correction could be possible toward the levels of 2,650 to 2,700 zone. So we do not see any upside momentum in this stock. So I think, according to our view, she should exit from this current levels and rather buy any other stock from where he can fetch good amount of return.
Okay, so that's the view on Mazga Doc from Rajesh. But moving on, we have the next query on NBCC. Lakshmikant, this one is for you. The viewer Anita from Pune says that she's been holding NBCC at a price of 124. She wants to know what are the prospects for this one in the short term.
The stock has found base near the levels of 110 to 108 zone, and we expect some sort of consolidative move, consolidative breakout above the levels of 117. So once it crosses this level, then after it could move higher toward the levels of 130. So that would be the expected target, but for that it need to hold the levels of 108 on the downside. So as long as it hold the levels of 108, we could see upside breakout. But contrary to this, if it reaches the levels of 108, then I think she should exit from this stock.
All right, moving on to the next question then. This one's coming from Nikhil Sharma, who's writing in from Mumbai. He says he's an intraday trader. He wants to know, he's holding 100 shares of Crompton Greaves at a buying price of 356 rupees with a target price predicted as 372. He's clearly sitting at a loss right now. What is the right time to exit the stock, or is it better to hold on to it or average in? What should be the strategy, Lakshmikant, at this juncture? Do you think it will touch 372, the levels that he has been predicting?
See, Crompton is running in the bearish trend from last few sessions. Now it has started trading below its or its key moving averages. Upcoming support is seen near the levels of 325. So any decisive move below this level, we could see further downward pressure in this stock, which could push it lower toward the levels of 300 to 295 zone. So our view will be bearish for the Crompton, and we won't see any upside move in this stock until we see a decisive breakthrough of the levels of 355.
Okay, so those are the levels to watch for Crompton. But moving on, we have a query on another defense counter. That's a shipbuilding counter. Lakshmikant, this one is for you. Suresh is writing from Kerala. He's been holding 50 shares of Cochin Shipyard at a price of 1,530 rupees. He wants to know what to do with the stock. Is it the right time to buy more?
So this stock has been trending lower from last few sessions, and it has also trading down within the bearish crossover of 20 and 50 DMA. So our view will be bearish for the upcoming sessions also, and it could face a strong resistance near the levels of 1720. So that would be the upcoming resistance level for the Cochin shipyard. So overall sentiment looks on the bearish side, and if it reaches the levels of 1820, then we could see further decline in this stock toward the levels of 1600.
With that, it's time for us to slip into a short break. Keep sending in your questions. We'll be back after the break and answer all your questions. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to ET Now. You're watching Buy Now, Sell Now with me, Kanishka Sarkar and Ankita Saxena, a show where we are answering all your stock-related queries. And we are still joined by Lakshmikant and Rajesh, who are answering all your queries. Now, let's get back to all the queries then. Now, Rajesh, this one is for you. This is our viewer, Anupama, who's written from Bangalore. She has 2,500 shares of PNB at a price of 116 rupees. She wants to know whether she should continue holding for a period of another year. What's your view?
Continue to hold. Almost entire PSU banking space is looking great. Balance sheet have been cleaned up. Interest rates have started going down so that the bond portfolio are going to give good returns. And it's just a matter of time when credit offtake starts picking up. So the entire banking, public sector banking space, I would say, is looking very exciting. Be it PNB, Bank of Baroda, Bank of Maharashtra, or the largest SBI. So it's hold at this point of time.
All right, there is PNB with a hold call coming in, the entire PSU basket looking good there. But let's move on to the next question then. This is coming from Murali, who's writing in from Chennai. Shriram Finance, he's bought it at 665, needs a short-term view. Now, you know, NBFC, besides the banking pack, is also a very attractive space for the analysts. But Lakshmikant, on the short-term view, what is your call on Shriram Finance?
On the short-term basis, we would see further correction in the stock toward the levels of 620 to 625, and that would be the zone if it formed any reversal kind of pattern. So that would be the right time for taking a long bet in this stock. Otherwise, if it reaches the levels of 620, then further correction could be possible in this stock toward the levels of 580 to 590. So I think 620, 625 is the strong support for the Shriram Finance, and where we could find some sort of stability. So that would be the time from where one can go along with the stop loss of 580. And from there, if we could see any pullback move toward this stock, in the stock, which could push it higher toward the levels of 690.
All right, so that's the view on Shriram Finance. But the next question is coming on L&T Finance. Now, this viewer has Leena from Kolkata. She's been holding. She wants to enter into L&T Finance. Lakshmikant, are these the correct levels to enter? What's your target price that she can expect? She wants to hold the stock for a period of 12 to 18 months.
So yes, this is the right time to take entry in the LTF, as the stock has been trending higher from last few weeks, and now it is consolidating near its all-time high levels of 210, 212, where it is forming some pull and flag kind of pattern. So any decisive move of the levels of 213 to 215 level will could extra push to the stock toward the levels of 245 to 250 zone. So that would be the expected target, and as long as it hold the levels of 188 on the downside, we would see this upside move toward the levels of 245 to 250 in the LTF.
Right, so that's L&T Finance on the charts. But let's move on to the next question. This is Nalini who's writing in from Ahmedabad. She says, please suggest a couple of good pharma stocks for the long-term investment. Rajesh, let me come to you then. There are a couple of names, it's been a mixed bag as far as pharma is concerned, whether it is Glenmark, whether it is Loris Labs. These counters have done very well. There are also counters which haven't done much. So what would be your picks within the pharma pack?
See, pharma as a space is looking exciting. The only problem at this point of time, if the tariff sword hanging on our head, so we never know what kind of tariffs are going to come. But apart from that, the entire space is looking good. The valuations are attractive because of the kind of correction they have faced and the kind of new ANDA, USFDA files over a period of time. Uh, CDMO as a space is looking very exciting going forward because even if the tariffs are very high, I think CDMO would be least affected. So out of the CDMO space, one company that comes to my mind is Laurus Lab. Despite the kind of run-up it has witnessed in the recent past, the ramp-up of CDMO business is continues at this point of time. EBITDA margins have improved. Last quarter numbers were very good. They have done a capex of 3,200 odd crores, and almost 90 human health projects have been filed by them. The entire thing is going in their favor. So I think Laurus Lab can be a good bet. In a large cap space, Divis can be a good bet. Or if you want to look in the Nifty space, I think Cipla or a Dr. Reddy's are good for long term. So see, these are some of the names which one can have a look on.
All right, so within the pharma space, you could have a look at Laurus Labs, Cipla, Divis, and DRL. But moving on from the pharma space to the IT space, Rajesh, now this query is from Narsimha Reddy, who's writing from Hyderabad. He wants to know your view on persistent systems. He wants to know whether or not it's a good long-term buy. He's been holding 30 shares at a price of 5,289 rupees.
See, for long term, it's good, no doubt on that. But at this point of time, IT as a space is facing headwinds because of the term tariffs and all, as we all know. And the numbers of the large cap companies have not been that good. But somebody looking for long term horizon, it's a good bet. Buying new, I won't suggest at this point of time because yesterday only it has run up quite a lot and in a very swift move. Uh, for new addition, maybe levels of 5,400, 5,300 would be a better levels. But somebody holding can continue to hold.
So we can continue to hold at current levels on persistent system, but let's move on to Jay Krishnan, who's writing in from Kerala. He said he's bought Ultratech cement for medium term at current levels. Okay, there's no question here, but he says that from the cement sector, he wants to know if he can buy Ultratech cement for the medium term from the cement pack. Let me come to you, Rajesh, for this one. Ultratech cement from the cement pack, and give us an outlook on the cement as well.
See, cement as a pack is doing well. With the government's focus on infrastructure and the kind of way we have seen reality as a space growing, I think cement is going to do well. This quarter, because of monsoon, the numbers might be some subdued, but for a longer term horizon, if you look at full year numbers, the numbers are going to be good. Volumes are growing. And in some regions, we have seen some price hikes also coming in. Coke prices have gone down, so the raw material prices have gone down, and the margins are stabilizing. So the entire pack, as in the cement pack, is looking good. Out of which somebody is looking for a large cap name, Ultratech would be the best one, I would say. And if somebody is not comfortable buying Ultratech at 13,000, 12,000 odd rupees, then Grasim would be a proxy bet for Ultratech because that's an holding company for Ultratech. And apart from that, it has several other pillars. In mid cap space, one can have a look at Dalmia Bharat or a Birla Park. In a small cap space, Mangalam Cement is looking very good. So these are some of the names. Somebody looking for a time horizon of 12 to 18 months. I think this space can give decent returns.
All right, so that's the view on Ultratech and the rest of the cement pack. But moving on to the financial space now, we have a query from Raghavendra. Lakshmikant, this one is for you. He's been holding IDBI shares, 500 shares at a price of 60 rupees. He wants to know what's the outlook on this. Would you be able to suggest a target price?
IDBI is still facing resistance from its previous swing high of 100 to 205 zone, and still we see that the stock is moving lower after while making lower tops and lower bottom. So we think if it finds some sort of stability near the zone of 90 to 88, and then after we could see some sort of reversal kind of pattern in the stock, then after we would suggest some sort of target. Otherwise, we think that the stock could see some sort of show some corrective move toward the levels of 88 to 90. So, or we will be bearish until we get any decisive breakthrough of the levels of 105.
All right, moving on from IDBI Bank to the next question. This is Vishwanathan Nair, who's writing in from Cochin. He says the largest airport service aggregator, Dreamfolks, is hovering below its 52-week low. Considering its high ROE, low PE and debt-free status, is it a good contrarian buy for now? He's aware that the closure of contracts by private banks for Dreamfolks, but wants to know if this is a good contrarian bet. Rajesh, let me come to you for Dreamfolks. Now, this one is a catch-22 situation. We did see, the sharp correction that Dreamfolks saw coming in on the back of the couple of things that I just mentioned. But Dreamfolks, on the long term, is it a good bet?
It's better to avoid at this point of time. A lot of negative news flow coming in with some banks canceling their agreement with them, Adani coming out in a big way in the launch business. Even in credit cards, if you see, previously every credit card was giving lounge access, but now very selective of them are giving them access. So that again putting pressure on the revenue side. So yes, I agree that the valuations are very attractive. After the kind of correction it has witnessed, it's trading at almost 52-week lower, if I'm not wrong, at a lifetime lows too. But you never know how much lower side it can go because of news flow. So at least wait for this quarter results, look at management commentary, then take a call.
All right, so that's the view. But moving on, we have another query for you, Rajesh. It's a long-term query. This is Rajan writing from Bangalore. He's been holding 285 shares of Titan at a price of 2,390 rupees. He wants to add more. Is it a good time to add more? He has a long-term view of 2 years.
See, for 2 years, it's a good buy, no doubt on that. A whole lot of stores doing well. And not only watches, even jewelry is doing well. They are moving into lab diamonds too. There might be some amount of correction because of the kind of run-up it has seen, but for long-term horizon, it's a good bet on the jewelry sector as well. So any dip should be taken as an opportunity to buy. So maybe wait for around 3,200, 3,000 odd levels where you can accumulate the stocks.
1,000 shares of United Spirits. He's bought it at a buying price of 1,180 rupees. What should he do now? Let me come to you for this one, Lakshmikant. Now, he's already made his profit. He's sitting at a profit, but United Spirits hasn't really done much. Do you see moves coming in, and should he be holding on to it, or what should he just book his profits now?
I think this is the time to book the profit from this United Spirit, as we have seen consistent decline after making the high near the levels of 1,480 to 1,500, and then after the stock has seen some corrective move on the lower side. So now upcoming support is seen near the levels of 1,310 to 20. If it reaches this level, then further downward pressure could be possible in this stock, which could push it lower toward the levels of 1,250. So our stance is on the bearish side in the United Sprit.
Okay, so that's the view on United Spirits. But moving on, Lakshmikant, another query for you. This is on IndusInd Bank. The viewer holds 100 shares of IndusInd Bank at a price of 970 rupees. This is Manoj from Mumbai. He wants to know what's your outlook on this one. How is it looking on the charts?
3 to 4 days back, the stock has shown some sort of recovery, and it has made a higher tops and higher bottom. And when it reaches the levels of 890 to 900, then after it started facing profit booking. But at the lower end, it has a strong support near the levels of 810. And as long as it holds this support, we could see meaningful recovery in this stock. Although upside move could only possible of the levels of 890, so that would be the breakout level for IndusInd Bank. And once it gives the breakthrough above the levels of 890, then after it could move forward toward the levels of 940 to 950. And if it sustains well above the levels of 950, then further upside momentum could be possible, which could push it higher toward the levels of 1001. So I think with the stop loss of 810, it could hold the stock.
All right, with that, we completely timed our edition of Buy Now, Sell Now. But do keep sending in your questions. We'll take them up tomorrow at 11 a.m. Lakshmikant and Rajesh, thank you so much for taking the time out and answering all the questions. With that, it's a wrap. Kanishka and I will take your leave. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't go anywhere because market action continues.